So picture this, guy gets arrested, goes home, opens up his laptop, looks at ChatGPT, Gemini, and decides he's going to use AI instead of a criminal defense attorney for his criminal charges. Sound crazy? This shit is already happening. Check out how the judge handles it.
You know something, sir? Just because you use what seem to be legal words and try to place them into a sentence doesn't mean that it makes sense.
I understand that, Your Honor.
No, I don't think you do.
But hold on, it gets worse.
Okay.
I think you really need to think about getting an attorney. That part of the motion is also denied.
That's all. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so what are we going to do?
Well, I would like a chance to amend the motion.
No, you can file whatever motion you want, but I'm going to tell you something, sir. I'm not going to sit here listening to frivolous motions.
Okay.
I'm just not going to do it.
If you're facing criminal charges, look, I get it, I know. You're scared, you're overwhelmed, your future is hanging in the balance, and criminal attorneys are gonna cost you money, and maybe money that you think you don't have. And AI is really smart, right? It knows the law, it knows everything. And you can craft a defense that you can go in and get the same result without spending any money. And look, it's really easy to trust something that sounds confident, even if it's wrong. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why relying on AI for a criminal defense case can and will backfire, and what actually protects your freedom and your future. Hi, I'm Daniel Rosenberg. I'm a criminal defense attorney, and when it comes to your freedom, this is not something you DIY and cut corners. The guy in the video thought he was being smart and researching through AI all of the legal motions and procedures and criminal charges that he was facing. The problem is he has no idea what he's doing. And there is nuance to this. But most importantly, not only is there nuance, you're dealing with people. The judge is a person, the prosecutor, the police officers. There's nuance to all of this. There is emotional intelligence, social interaction, knowing when to push and to pull back. There's also understanding the value of your case. What's the value of your case? What are the consequences? If you steal a Snickers bar, the value of that case is a diversionary program, a downgrade, or a dismissal. It is not 5 years in state prison. So that's the value of that case. You need to understand what the value is before you start making your arguments. Because there's some people like this guy who's going to talk himself into a worse situation. And understanding that nuance is critical, because there are plenty of times that we've gotten results for our clients that we absolutely never should have gotten. But you know what? The prosecutor understands that if they don't give us what we want, we're going to push back in a meaningful way. That if they don't give us what we want, they got a trial coming. You don't have that leverage, and certainly AI isn't going to give it to you. So there are times we do better than what you are actually entitled to get. Another reason why AI isn't a viable solution is because it gets it wrong. Because AI has hallucinations. It will give you an answer, and even if it's wrong, it'll present it as truth. In fact, AI will make up case law and statutes. That's right, it'll make up a case that never happened. And if you rely on that, now you're misrepresenting something to the court. I'm sorry, I didn't know that wasn't a real case. AI told me to do it. So now you got a criminal charge and you're explaining why you misrepresented the law to the court. Another reason you can't rely on AI is because your situation is fluid and is constantly going to be changing. What did the prosecutor say to you? What did the judge say to you? How do you respond and how do you react? AI is not sitting next to you listening and saying, respond this way. AI is not accountable. They're not the one that's going to jail if you mess this up. And beyond that, it can't show up with you in court. It can't file motions. It can't cross-examine a witness. It can't make an oral argument to a judge. It can't present mitigating information to a prosecutor and tug on their heartstrings because it has no emotion. It also can't read the room and pivot in real time. And probably most importantly, AI can't negotiate for you. You can try. It's not going to work, and I'll tell you why. You can tell when you're interacting with someone who's chatting everything and giving you responses. There is a tone and tenor to how you speak and interact with people. And when the prosecutor realizes that they're not talking to you, they're talking to AI, now you've just removed the human element and you've made it cold and frigid. You've created a dynamic that is more confrontational. That is something they're absolutely going to hold against you. This is not on par with getting bad advice on a DIY bathroom remodel. This is your record, your freedom, and your future. What actually puts you in the best position for the best result are experienced criminal defense attorneys who know the system, who know the people, who know the jurisdiction, and have the knowledge and experience to put it all together and advocate for you. You need to know, what is that prosecutor's leanings? Are they very conservative? Are they more liberal leaning? Do they hate vehicular assault cases? Is this a prosecutor that's heavy-handed with a drug case because they lost a friend or family member to an overdose? Is this a judge that has leanings that are going to hurt your client? Like if your client is driving without insurance and that judge's brother was killed by someone who didn't have insurance, they're going to be heavy-handed with you. These are the realities that you have to deal with in your case. You also need to consider the jurisdiction you're in and what the leanings are of that jurisdiction. For instance, if you're drunk outside a bar in a big city with high crime, they're not going to care as much about you. But if you're drunk in public in a college town where all the local residents are pissed off that everyone's walking the street every night, that's a more heavy-handed disposition, and you need to know that before you go into that court and start making arguments that are nonsensical because you got them from AI. Also, when you hire an attorney, you're not just hiring a person, you're hiring years of knowledge, experience, and goodwill. So if you or someone you know is facing a criminal charge, don't do it yourself. Don't rely on AI. Contact an experienced criminal defense attorney. We are criminal trial attorneys. We have your back. That's what we do.